We're at Dunlop Motorsports Technical Centre in the United Kingdom, and this is the place where we design, develop and manufacture some of the tyres that are used by winning riders and winning drivers all around the world. All the Moto2 tyres are made here in Birmingham, they're designed here, all the development work happens here, and they're manufactured under the roof of our technical centre. So the design process for the tyres actually starts with modelling the tyre. We use processes such as FEA, finite element analysis, which enables us to model the tyre on the screen, but also to model the forces that are going through the tyre before we actually build a tyre and put it into real testing. The first stage of making a Moto2 tyre is the mixing of the compound. We tend to mix compounds in batches of say 100 grams, so you'll have a recipe for each compound. Now, compound is a mixture of all the raw ingredients: natural rubber, synthetic rubber, silica, which improves the wet performance, and some of the other magic formula compounds that we add into there. So the way the mixer works, it's a bit like a giant food mixer. The compound goes into the machine, it's mixed in the machine, and what we see coming out of the machine is like a sticky, licoricey kind of material, which is then stored in strips and again allowed to cool for a specific period of time before it then goes on into the next stage, which is to have it cut into a shape that's useful for tyre building. People think that a tyre is just made of rubber, but there's also other materials that go into a tyre, such as fabric. And what we see here is material going through a process that we call calendaring, which is where we mix materials such as fabric with rubber, so it sticks to the other rubber components in the tyre. And here we're having it cut into precise shapes that will then build the components in the tyre at the next stage of building. The second stage of making a Moto2 tyre is building the carcass of the tyre. The process is a very labour-intensive process. We can see that the operator is being guided by the lasers above him to get the components in exactly the right place. When we get feedback from our testing and our development, we can change the dimensions, the thickness of the materials, lots of different permutations in order to give the rider the confidence that he needs in order to perform on the track. Third stage in building a Moto2 tyre is to bring together the carcass of the tyre to meet the compounds that have come from the mixing machine. The carcass of the tyre is put onto the second stage building machines, and the compounds are applied as a strip onto the tyre. We see the operator being guided by laser guides. He's applying the compound into the specific areas of the tyre. The compound can go on in very thin strips, so you can have a specific type of compound on a very specific part of the tyre in order to give the grip. We can even make asymmetric compounds here, and with a multitude of different tread compounds across the whole width of the tyre. When we get to the final stage, which is called moulding or curing, we've also got the option of how long do we leave the tyre in the oven for. We can cook it at any temperature for any length of time. So this is a stage where it not only cures all the materials that are inside the tyre, but it also moulds it. So the tyre that comes out of the mould is the finished product. It's got the sidewall stamping on it with the Dunlop logo and the size on there. And if it's a wet tyre, it's also the place where the grooves and the distinctive grooved wet weather pattern is put into the tyre. This factory, we make 250,000 racing tyres a year, and they're supplied not only to MotoGP, but also to other major bike events. And they're the areas where we develop tyres, because we're in open competition with the other tyre companies. And that's where we can develop some of the new constructions and compounds that give us some really useful learnings for a one-brand championship like Moto2 and Moto3 in the future.